It is way cheaper than it is in the US.
Pan-African lifestyle.
Welcome to Pan-African Lifestyle, where we rep the motherland. We post content regularly and invite you to subscribe and share. If you're a pal, that's a Pan-African Lifestyler.
First of all, there is so much to do in this beautiful province. There is so much to do. Whatever your budget is, there is something to do in Cape Town, which is a really wonderful thing, or the most attractive thing, I suppose, about being in such a touristy province, or in such close proximity to such a touristy province or city. So you can go to the beaches, you can get some pampering at 5-star hotels overlooking the Indian Ocean or the Atlantic Ocean or Table Mountain, wherever it is, whatever it is that you want to do in Cape Town. There's so much to do. There's amazing food and experiences to have around Cape Town. So that's absolutely wonderful. Like, I won't lie, there is a lot to do in Cape Town. Also, no 2 weekends are the same. I mean, you could go hiking this week, you could go wine tasting at a wine farm, wherever it is, whatever appeals to you. There are beaches all over. Like, I think I know 6. There's probably 6,000. So many beaches to see. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing life. There's just so many things to actually experience in Cape Town, which makes it absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I think that's the thing that appeals or sells Cape Town to most people, to want to perhaps stay here a bit longer than just a weekend. I tend to find that in suburban areas, generally, the service delivery tends to be better compared to in like townships. I definitely say that the tourist experience is completely different to the residential experience of living in Cape Town. It's quite expensive. I think most people, when you think about moving to Cape Town, you imagine yourself, first of all, living in Cape Town, which in actual fact is a very difficult reality. Because when you come here as a tourist, that's where you stay. And you're thinking that's the experience that you'll have when you relocate here, but it's too expensive to honestly live that side. You find that most people who live there obviously have money, so it's quite expensive to actually live in Cape Town. And like I said, rent is quite expensive in the southern suburbs. You're gonna spend a lot of money for like a small apartment just so that you can see, like, you know, that much Table Mountain. So be prepared. So if you're willing to fork out that amount, then it's fine. Southern suburbs work out for you. But like most people, you end up going a bit further away from Cape Town, and that's it. If you want to see Table Mountain, that's the nice thing about being in Cape Town. Wherever you are, you look outside in a westerly direction and you should more or less see Table Mountain. Like, if that's your vibe, like if that's the only reason why you want to move to a province. One of the other bad things about living in Cape Town or being around Cape Townians is the ignorance. I don't know if it's actual ignorance or maybe it's a joke and I'm not getting it, but I feel like there's a lot of, like, people here live in sort of a bubble where they're not interested in what's happening in the rest of the country. Another concerning matter is the idea of Cape Townians wanting to secede or to separate. So I don't know what that would achieve, this separation between, or where Cape Town, or the Western Cape rather, would become its own republic and then the rest of South Africa would be on its own. I'm not sure what it achieves. Apparently it has nothing to do with race, but yeah, I'm not speaking on behalf of all black people or anybody else coming from other provinces moving to Cape Town. I'm only talking about my own experience of how it's been being here. So the racism here is on another level. It's so deeply entrenched. I feel like people don't even realize when they are being racist. Yes, there is quite a bit of racism in these parts. Also, I don't know if it's just an air of intolerance, or I don't know, maybe it's like a cliquey province, a cliquey people. But there's a big sense of an us versus them. I think that's why I really struggled when I got here. I felt like such an outsider, which is weird for me because I feel like I am in my country. Even if I'm in the Western Cape, like, it's like I should feel welcome as an African in Africa, as a South African in South Africa. But yeah, there's a big us versus them type of vibe. I feel like it does stem quite a bit from racism, because what else is there, or what other races are there like in the rest of the country?
I've met some really cool people. I have experienced some really nice things. So I overall am very, very happy with my decision to move to Cape Town. It is way cheaper than it is in the US. And for example, starting off for like a 1-bedroom apartment is maybe $500, and that's included Wi-Fi and electricity and water and all of those good things. For me in particular, I'm in a neighborhood called Woodstock, which is a bit gentrified, okay? And it's about 7 minutes from downtown, so it tends to be a bit more expensive. So for what I am living in and where I live at, I pay about $650. But again, that includes everything in my cost. And you know, if you want to go to a restaurant, a nice meal is about $15. A bottle of wine, a nice bottle of wine is about, I would say, roughly, you know, $20. And again, that's a nice bottle of wine. So it just depends on your lifestyle here, where you choose to live, how you spend your money, how you save your money. I definitely can save more money living outside of the US versus being inside. So that has definitely worked to my advantage moving here to Cape Town. There are so many things to do. There is always a festival going on. There is always an art gallery, a fashion show, a new restaurant. Cape Town for me is this nice fusion of two different places that brings these two different vibes together. Like, I can go out to a nice coffee shop, or if I want to, I can go kayak with dolphins on Sunday. So there's, you know, kayaking with dolphins, there's whale watching, there is shark diving, there's mountain climbing, there's all these outdoor nature things. Or if that's not for you, you can definitely do, you know, restaurants, fashion shows, art galleries. The weather. First things first. The winter here is nothing. I will take the fall weather, 60 degrees, 50 degrees, over the negatives and my face and my toes and my fingers feeling like they're going to freeze off. My entire world just did a 180 when I came here and on this continent, and I knew that I had to be back here in some aspect, someday, somehow, and I'm definitely figuring out how I can stay. So for me, you know, I can spend $200 and go to a whole different country, and it has different traditions and different people and different backgrounds and different music and food. And, you know, one of the advantages I have here is that I have access to so many beautiful countries. And such, I mean, this continent is huge. I'm going to say in a short span because it's not. This continent is huge, but it's very accessible for me, and that is one thing that I absolutely loved.
First thing that's different about living in South Africa versus the US or anywhere else was the people. So this is probably one of the countries that I've lived in that has the most friendly people. Yeah, South Africans are very friendly, most of them, and they're very eager to help you. For example, when you meet someone new and they realize you're not from this country, or even if you are, they're just going to be nice. If you need help, they're going to help you, they're going to ask you questions. They're not like nosy, as in they're interrogating you, they're just more friendly. They're especially friendlier to foreigners. If you're a tourist or you're a foreigner or expat living here, you might want to pick up a few of the languages. Just like a few phrases, or it'll be very helpful for you. Might help you in the future, or you can either even better communicate with people here. Most people here speak English. Most people here are pretty much bilingual or trilingual. The landscape, it's so beautiful here in South Africa. Everything is super green, especially if you go to Cape Town, where there are mountains and just a lot of green.
Thanks for tuning into Pan African Lifestyle. Share your thoughts in the comments section and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Pan African Lifestyle to be inspired. For awesome PAL merch, check out panafricanlifestyle.com/shop. Keep repping the motherland.
Pan African lifestyle.